Hello, this is the Red Pill with the Red Pill News Dispensary. So, before tonight's show, there's been some breaking news that I definitely want to jump on and talk about here. Um, it looks like three Americans were killed in Kenya by an extremist group, which, some of these groups, let me just, can I get why this isn't lighting up like it normally does? Can I get a 5x5 or a yes on audio? Hello, 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 hello. Audio good? Check myself. Sorry, I have to do this unless I get a confirmation real quick. And for some reason, and likes to looks like this is going to be they don't want this out there because for the US. It looks like people aren't. Oh, it looks like people just got the notification. You guys hear me? Audio good?
Middle East strategy from Washington right now.
There is nothing like an international community, and especially not in this regard. We have seen an escalation between the Iranians and the United States in recent months.
Audio good. All right, good.
Escalation is that the United States, I think, doesn't have this down.
Okay, so there were three Americans killed in Kenya, and these three Americans, we had one service member. Now, just to put this into perspective, I'm familiar with the space because there's been a lot that's happened at this base in the past. This is a base of special operations. So we're not talking about your average soldier, airman, or sailor. We're talking special forces. We're talking DOD contractors. Now, when people see DOD contractor, yeah, sometimes that could just be like some guy that's a civilian and just works over there and has business interest or something like that. In a situation like this, most likely ex-military, ex-CIA. In fact, of course, the American service member, that's, a big deal, obviously. But don't downplay the two contractors. These guys are most likely potentially the Department of Defense, obviously contractors. But, they kind of, sometimes if somebody's over there, CIA kind of, no name, that not involved with anybody, kind of black ops type of stuff, and they get killed, all of a sudden you hear these things like DOD contractor. So do not downplay the importance of these two DOD contractors, because I remind you, outside of the embassy being attacked, which by the way is a fortress in Iraq, what was the straw that broke the camel's back? Really, was the missile strike that killed one man, a DOD contractor. And like I said, sometimes people kind of gloss over that, like, oh, okay. And then a veteran, and then, an active service duty member, most likely special forces. If I had to guess, I would say it's most likely a Green Beret. So I'll go on a limb and say most likely a Green Beret. But then you have two contractors. And like in that other situation, you had 4 injured U.S. Armed Services members. I believe they were all Army, and I believe that they were Special Forces and or intelligence as well, and a DOD contractor who probably in some way had more influence than them. It's kind of funny how it works. So don't overlook the DOD contractor. People, they hear, soldier killed, things like that. But these DOD contractors can be a lot more important than you realize, or they lead on for you to know. These people, they do work and they are thankless. And the CIA has a certain reputation, and it's well deserved. I just put this together last minute. I should have had this already. All right. This should be better. All right, yeah. So these don't gloss over it. That's all I'm saying here. Okay. All right. Thank you, Captain Nobody. All right. So let's take a look at this. All right. So, extremists attack Kenya military base. 3 Americans killed. Before I continue, video good. 5x5. Yeah, I'm sure it's good. Okay, so extremists attack Kenyan military base. 3 Americans killed. What is up with this microphone? I'm having some technical difficulties, but hopefully you guys can hear me. It's not exactly the audio, I would hope. It should be. I'm not hearing myself. All right, but I know you guys said the audio was okay, so it might not be as crisp as it should be. But I'll make sure that's all set for tonight's show. I just wanted to report on this quick, because we'll be definitely touching base on this tonight too. No pun intended. So. Sunday morning attack at a military airfield. From my understanding, by the way, you know what? I said Green Beret. I should have thought better. This was air crew. The one killed, he was air crew, which is, I mean, a very proud group. When I was stationed in Pensacola, I was over at the cryptologist Corey Station, the cryptologist learning center. It's not what it's called, but the cryptologist training center. That's what it's called. And then there's NAS Pensacola, where I had a buddy there. He was a rescue swimmer. Basically, anything that goes on an aircraft carrier or air, period, the training for that is in Pensacola. And that's not that's not a classified thing. But here's the location, obviously strategic location. But yes, I correct myself. I said soldier. I knew better too. I had already read it. It was actually an air crew. Now, air crew could be Navy. I mean, that's how when I hear air crew, I think Navy. That's how we say it in the Navy. It's air crew, and they're a very proud group of people, and they go through amazing training. These are very highly trained men. I mean, we are unrivaled in the air. But anyway, so let's read this. So Alshabab, I'm sure you guys have heard of them. If you have not, it's a terrorist organization out of Kenya. They're taking responsibility for this. And Alshabab extremists overran a key military base used by U.S. counter-terror forces in Kenya before dawn Sunday, killing 3 American Department of Defense personnel and destroying several U.S. aircraft and vehicles before they were repelled. I mean, I have one on the mainstream media. They're talking about small arms fire, yet they were able to kill. They say 3 DOD employees. It was really 2 DOD. And also I was saying soldier, but it was actually air crew, so it might have actually been Navy, or Air Force, but I don't know. When I hear air crew, I believe the Air Force uses those same terms, but it just comes off as Navy when I hear that. And now I'm seeing here also several U.S. aircraft and vehicles with small arms fire at a place where we have special forces. All our bases in countries like this are on high alert, and they were able to pull this off. They're playing this down big time. They are playing this down. they had the nerves to, oh, just small arms fire. Yeah, okay. So yeah, you look at the damage. It's intense. I'm surprised they were able to pull that off. Maybe it's a weak point we had, and they knew about it. Is this now? Do you guys think this is related to what's going on in Iran? Of course it is. Of course it is. Outside of a potential, CIA, we have these situations throughout history where we set up attacks, but this is not a big enough attack. It's not the type of attack that's going to be 24/7 news and consume the news cycle. Attacking the Iranian general is, but this attack just doesn't have that effect. Alshabab has already taken responsibility. I think this is a legitimate attack, just so you guys know. Just in case you guys are thinking any funny business, I think this one's legit. It checks. I don't see the signs of the type of signs you see when it's not exactly legit. Okay, so in the attack, let's see, the attack on Manda Bay Airfield was the Al-Qaeda linked group's first attack against U.S. forces in the East African country, which is actually amazing. I mean, they've carried out so many attacks. Al-Shabaab. We always hear about them. I'm surprised to know that. I thought there were others, but I guess it was always just kind of terrorist attacks, not exactly directly at U.S., which lays even more credence to, yes, of course, this is based with Iran. Iran promised their people American blood. Because what I was expecting from Iran is a cyber attack. And I was going to get into that tonight, and I will get into that tonight. But I will just briefly at least say that. What I expect as a response from Iran was a cyber attack. Yet, at the same time, they promised blood. This might be the blood, and then the rest will be a cyber attack, which they do have some definitely worthy to be concerned about. Capabilities for a cyber attack. They definitely have those capabilities. We've seen it happen in the past. In fact, that's exactly how we hit them after the drone issue. The story went that, remember Trump's whole thing, I was about to, give the order and 450 people would have been killed. But instead, I decided, you know what? I need to be a little bit more measured. Although it was expensive and although it was basically an act of war, I mean, this isn't your regular drone. This is a global hawk that was shot down. And he said, you know what? And they ended up doing a cyber attack, which in my opinion, strategically wise, I understand life. You can't count for life. Life is something that, you can't put a dollar sign on. But as far as strategy, the cyber attack hurt Iran 100 times more than killing 450 militants. That's a fact. Some people may try to argue that. They might just not understand what a cyber attack can entail and the type of trouble it can cause. So we hit them with a real bad cyber attack. That's what I've been expecting as a response. However, there's been it's from Al-Shabaab, so it's not directly Iran, but we know Iran has influence on all of these people.
It's like on there.
All right. So, like I said, this man, he was revered. He was an evil man, but amongst Shiites, but he also, what made him really important, he connected a lot of bridges. And one of those bridges was in Kenya as well. So these are the type of places that were on high alert, and they still carried out this attack. And if you see here, overran a key military base used by military base used by U.S. counter-terror forces in Kenya. You guys can see the story, correct? Before dawn Sunday, killing 3 American DoD personnel, although it's really 2 DoD personnel and 1 U.S. service member that was aircrew. Could be Navy, could be Air Force. And destroying several U.S. aircraft and vehicles before they were repelled. I'd like to know what kind of vehicles. I'd like to know what kind of aircraft. But if it's U.S. aircraft, it's significant. So, you know, this isn't just your little small nothing, you know. So, the attack on Mandalay Bay Airfield, and I was surprised by this, was the first Al-Qaeda-linked group's first attack against U.S. forces in the East African country. You know what? Maybe Alshabab has hit them in other countries. Because they're saying this is the first attack in that specific country. So maybe they're kind of twisting the words here a little bit.
Yeah.
And the military called the security situation fluid several hours after the assault. Some tobacco. 5 attackers were killed. Kenyan military. So 5 Kenyan attackers were killed. I'm surprised, but usually when we see attacks on American personnel and bases, I mean, if you see 3 dead, you're gonna see 10 times or more dead from the other side. I'm surprised to only see 5 attackers were killed. This story just like, it's not hitting my ear right yet. It's not being pumped out there in a way that I think it's fishy as far as like, you know, FF type of issues. I don't think that's what we're looking at. But the damage it seems that they were able to do with all our capabilities, and they only lose 5 men, and we lose 3. One of which is aircrew, which those boys are no joke. But he was probably grounded. Get him in the air and see what happens. You know, I mean, that's where he's deadly. I gotta do a lot more. I saw this. I was like, I gotta go live on this. I gotta do a lot more research on this because the way it's adding up. Aircraft, they took out vehicles. So here we go. I haven't read this. I read a different article. I haven't read this. I like to read the articles fresh. Have an honest opinion. The attack on the compound involved indirect and small arms fire. Indirect. What the? What? Indirect and small arms fire. What is the angle? They're not pumping this out there like one of those FFs, but it doesn't read right. It doesn't make sense. I'm telling you, it doesn't make sense. They got a bunch of aircraft, vehicles, 2 DoD personnel who are most likely, let's be honest, they're most likely ex-military, ex-CIA, and an aircrew guy. Who, again, these boys are no joke. My buddy was aircrew. I had a lot of aircrew friends. I mean, like someone I grew up with even. Yeah, these dudes are no joke. Highly trained. You know, it doesn't mean they're invincible. They die. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. They're actually put in positions where they might die. I mean that's why they're so well trained, because it's very dangerous what they do. But it just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. Only 5 Kenyans dead, and they did all that damage with involved it involved indirect and small arms fire. So small arms fire and indirect.
I'm also really mad that I use TikTok as frequently as I do now. I'm addicted to it.
This ain't making sense. Let's go on. Maybe it'll add up. I don't think so. After an initial penetration of the perimeter, like I said, this is a dispensary. Initial penetration of the perimeter. Kenya Defensive Forces and U.S. Africa Command repelled the Alshabab attack. And the AFRICOM statement reports indicate that 6 contractor-operated civilian aircraft were damaged to some degree. Okay, so to some degree. So 6 contractor-operated civilian aircraft. What do you think they're doing with that? They're not just like some like rich guys that who knows, but no, most likely not. The DOT contract, they probably have a good amount of money to be honest. But you know, they're not billionaires, all right? So they're not. It's not like their personal aircraft. That's why I'm saying these guys, some of these DOD personnel, do not downplay it. Just one of them dying was the final straw for me to take out that general. So, I mean, these men are important. That our military is very important. But obviously, I don't even have to state that. But I don't want to let it be understated as they try to do the importance of these DOD personnel as far as strategy, as far as, you know, just experience, like who they are. What an ex-CIA, I'm sure. You know, they're over there. They do a thankless job. And unfortunately, you know, there's some crazy stuff. For instance, CIA has done. And, I mean, come on. we know, you know, but that's not all of them, you know. A lot of them really, I mean, it's a very complicated world. So after an initial penetration of the perimeter, Kenya Defense Forces. You guys can see this. Let me just make sure. So you guys can see the screen, correct? I'm sure you guys can see it, right? Yeah, that's a good point. I know exactly what you're talking about, bro. That's a good point. That's why, you know, I go into open mind. But at first, I'm telling you, it's not being pushed the way those do. Those get pushed in a certain way. You can see it on the media. You could see it as far as just being on YouTube. Like, what they block and don't block tells me a lot. My last video I did, the show announcement for tonight's show, was monetized. It's like out of nowhere, they're like monetize, you know, like with simple short streams like that, and they'll monetize them. And it's like, it makes me think like, it looks like I'm going with a narrative one way or the other. In the end, they see it as being, you know, oh, they don't mind certain narrations. Now, that doesn't mean that it's just me specifically they're looking at. We're talking about algorithms, certain words, and I speak freely, and they just don't monetize. It seems like something that they do want me to talk about. When I speak about the announcement about the show about the Iranian general tonight, which, by the way, most likely be, you know, I'm to be honest, I'll narrow it down 9 to 10 Eastern. Again, 9 to 10 Eastern. All right, so let's continue. I just want to make sure I can see the screen. I want to make sure you guys are reading this article along with me. No one's confirmed it. If someone could confirm it, that'd be great. Just so I could get that out of my head. If someone could just say, we can read it right now. You know what I mean? And I click over. You guys can see that, right? Actually, I learned a bunch of stuff about the Chromebook. I don't have to use the mouse. I learned a lot about the yeah. See, I could just go like that. Isn't that cool with my hand on this little? I'm learning a bunch of stuff about it. Okay, so you guys see? Okay, as long as you guys see, I want to make sure. So 6 contractor operated civilian aircraft. So why do they have their own? I mean, we obviously they would, right? But still, are those less protected or even more protected? I'd like to figure that one out. That's a small detail I could see a slip on. I'm gonna look into that. You know what? Let's look into it right now. It's just a theory. Might be wrong.
Do you need those headphones?
It's probably less
Hey,
when you think
Matt,
about
do you
the
really need those
military,
headphones?
obviously.
You need
Yeah.
those? Shit.
Actually, you know what?
I should get an extra pair.
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't need it?
It's alright. I don't need it. I like it, but I don't need it.
Alright. Well, I'll be back with it.
It's fine. Alright. So, DOD, I kind of just put together like a crapshoot show just on the fly when I saw this. I was like, wait, I had missed this was just really starting to come out a few hours ago. So yeah, it's a live shot, by the way. That's the thing. Yeah, that's my okay. Oh wait, I can use this. Okay, so you guys can see the screen. Yes. Okay, cool. Thank you. By the way, you know what? I was asking for. I want to thank that. Heather Dawes. Thank you. Thank you, because I was asking for it. I didn't know. All right, I can continue. All right, cool. Manda Bay Airfield is utilized by U.S. forces whose missions include providing training to our African partners. We were there, and they didn't know them got killed. Responding to crises and protecting U.S. interests in the strategically important area. Maybe this was a weak spot for us. Alshabab claimed that there were 17 U.S. casualties, actually. Ooh. This is a big difference. Alshabab saying they killed 17. Wow. I'm happy I read this without reading it before. That's amazing. 17 as well. Yeah. Cute. But just gotta say, anytime you see a 17. All right, but 9 Kenyan soldiers killed and 7 aircraft destroyed. Ooh. So they're claiming more casualties on their side than we're claiming on their side. Does that make any sense? Wouldn't it? See, it makes sense for them to, let's say they're lying. Most likely, I think they're definitely exaggerating. But let's say that, like, so 17. So they're saying, wouldn't we say a higher number about them? Why would they know how many men they lost. Come on. They regroup and they put out a statement. They know how many men we lose. All right, I'm gonna say this. He's like, do something with these many bodies. I'm gonna say this. It's crazy shit out there in East Africa. So, yeah, I mean, why would we say 5 and they're saying 9 as far as Kenyan soldiers? I mean, it makes sense for them to claim more casualties on our side, but to upgrade their own, what do they want to make it look like a bigger or a larger ordeal? There's other ways of doing that than adding more of a body count on your soldiers, especially when you're going against contractors, as they, which I'm being sarcastic, but that's how they put it. And 7 aircraft destroyed, they claimed. The U.S. Africa Command dismissed the Alshabab claims as exaggerated and said U.S. and Kenyan forces repelled the attack. Interesting. Opposing views on what actually went down here, which isn't, first time something like that normally is. But it's funny. It's how it's over the numbers. Why would they put 9 Kenyan soldiers when it was just at 5? Why would you put more casualties on your side? Who's this from? This is from AP News. But they're doing a good job of laying it out. You just say you want to question when they try to push opinion on you. That's when it opens me up to think about the other side. Because it's like, why would you? You can tell when they push when you read enough of this stuff crap, which a lot of you guys do very well. I should be looking at the comments. Let me put a comment in there. Hun, you're mistaken my. Look at this guy. This dude sounds strong. You're mistaken my accent. Sometimes I kind of go like that, like miss, Sorry, sir. Your thoughts too, Brian? Yeah, it's crazy. All right, let's see what's wrong. Kenya is a key base fighting Al-Shabaab, one of the world's most resilient extremist organizations. A large plume of smoke rose above the airfield Sunday, and residents said a car bomb had exploded. That's almost what it looked like in the picture we saw. And I think I have video for you too. So, Lamu County Commissioner Nwungu Macharia told the Associated Press that 5 suspects were arrested and were being interrogated. An internal Kenyan police report said by the AP said 2 fixed-wing aircraft, a U.S. Senya, a Kenyan one, were destroyed along with 2 U.S. helicopters and multiple U.S. vehicles at the military airstrip. The report said explosions were heard at around 5:30 a.m. from the direction of the airstrip. The Kenya Civil Aviation Authority said the airstrip was closed for all operations. The military camps Simba in Lamu County. So Camp Simba here, guys. Established more than a decade ago, has under 100 personnel, according to Pentagon figures. Probably more than 100, let's be honest. U.S. forces at the adjoining Manda Bay Air, especially right now. I mean, they're like putting it down. So why are they putting that down? Right now, it's on high alert. They have well over 100 now. Whatever you normally have, it's peaked, And a lot of it is DoD contract. And give U.S. forces at the adjoining Manda Bay airfield train and give counter-terror support to East African partners. A U.S. flag raising at the camp in August signals its change from tactical to enduring operations. So basically, they were kind of just saying like, "Hey, we're here to, help." It wasn't so much they changed their approach on the people. It seems. From tactical to enduring operations, the Air Force said at the time. So he was probably Air Force. Sounds like it. I was thinking just because in Navy, like air crew, like I like air crew guys. People don't realize they're trained very well. According to another internal Kenyan police report seen by the AP dated Friday, a villager that day said he had spotted 11 suspect Alshabab members entering Lamu's Bonny Forest. So they're coming in through the forest, which the extremists used as a hideout. The report said Kenyan authorities didn't find them. Al-Shabaab, wow, that's slick. 11 cats, sending a little small force. You can do a lot with a force of 11. You can get them right there and hidden. And Al-Shabaab had launched a number of attacks inside Kenya, including against civilian buses, schools, and shopping malls. The group has been the target of a growing number of U.S. airstrikes inside Somalia during President Trump's administration. So, yeah, you know, we've been dealing with them for a while. That's why when they said they never killed any, I was like, what? It killed any U.S. casualties. I was surprised to hear that because they've been pulling off attacks successfully for a while. But I think, I don't know, I'm surprised at this weak spot. But, I mean, they were able to move on the ground. You think they have some kind of technology where, I mean, way beyond this, I would expect. But at the very least, something with like a heat detector, you could see a force. Regardless, just have something, some radar guy who's gonna see that, or a few. You always need more than one. Surprised they didn't have something around the base where they could see. It's just, okay. The latest attack comes just over a week after Al-Shabaab truck bomb in Somalia's capital killed at least 79 people and U.S. airstrike killed 7 Al-Shabaab fighters in response. So a truck bomb in Somalia's capital. Well, we can only get 17 of them, huh? Again, I mean, oh, wait, how many have we got? Oh, 7, not 7. Wow, 7. I think we get more than that. Man, I'll show you this right here. All right. The latest attacks come just a week after an Al-Shabaab truck bomb in Somalia. Oh, did I? I'm sorry. Last year, Al-Shabaab attacked the U.S. military base inside Somalia. No, this is what I was thinking about. That is used to launch drone strikes, but reportedly failed to make their way inside. So they were repelled. The extremist group also has carried out multiple attacks against Kenyan troops in the past, in retaliation for Kenya sending troops to Somalia to fight it. This attack marks a significant escalation of Al-Shabaab's campaign of attacks inside Kenya, said analyst Andrew Franklin, a former U.S. Marine and longtime Kenya resident. Now, this is going to disrupt this little corner of the world. Not that this little corner of the world has ever been without its huge problems, and just the amount of innocent lives taken. It's amazing. If you'd add it all up to, oh wow, just in that area, Eastern Africa, there's Somalia, Ethiopia, and Kenya. A lot of lives lost over these last 50 years, even 20 years. Yeah, it's crazy. So this is what this man says. Yeah, launching a deliberate assault of this type against a well-defended permanent base occupied by Kenyan defense forces, contractors, and U.S. military personnel required a great deal of planning, rehearsals, logistics, and operational capability. Maybe I'm underestimating. I don't know. Previous attacks against security forces have mainly been ambushes on Kenyan army or police patrols. Interesting. Before a big attack, they've been like kind of downplaying their abilities. A lot of dark money goes to these types of people. Sometimes they have some of the best equipment, everything. And if they could just stay off the U.S.'s radar, as far as the U.S. knowing everything they're up to, which I'm sure they are to a point. The Sunday attack came days after a U.S. airstrike killed Iran's top military commander, and Iran vowed retaliation, which is the show tonight that I've been planning. This show is like I just did a makeshift real quick, but I just wanted to go over this. I think it's interesting. But Al-Shabaab, I want to see what is the first after the big thing happens is the first little. It's something that we should read into. It's important intel. You can't leave the little pieces. It's in the details sometimes, in my opinion. Check you guys. So again, that was key. So it's a Sunni Muslim group. That's what's weird, because the Iran that's the whole thing. I said the only people really mourning him is the Shiite Muslims. It's not even like all Muslim, it's just that one faction. There's many factions. Two biggest Sunni Shiite in that region. Obviously. So no, this attack was in no way reading it related to that incident in the Middle East. An Al-Shabaab spokesman told the AP on condition of anonymity for security reasons. One analyst, Rashid Abdi, in Twitter post discussing the attack agreed, but added that Kenyan security services have long been worried that Iran was trying to cultivate ties with Al-Shabaab. Avowedly Wahhabist Al-Shabaab, not naturally ally of Shia Iran, hostile even. Exactly, that's the whole thing. Sunni Shia it don't match. It don't make sense. They're enemies. But if Kenyan claims true, AS attack may have been well timed to signal to Iran it is open for a tactical alliance. This could become biblical. I mean, imagine the Sunnis and Shiites all decide, fuck it, and just. But a former member of the UN committee monitoring sanctions on Somalia, Jay Bahadur, said in a tweet that the attack is far more related to Al-Shabaab, AS, wanting a do-over. I wouldn't want to keep writing it either. On their spectacular failure at Bill Dodge 4 months ago. I think that was the one, the U.S. base that was repelled. And I remember thinking like, but they ended up. Wow. When asked whether the U.S. military was looking into any Iranian link to the attack, U.S. Africa Command spokesman Colonel Christopher Kahns said only that Al-Shabaab, affiliated with Al-Qaeda, has their own agenda and has made clear their desire to attack U.S. interests. The Al-Shabaab claim of responsibility said Sunday's attack was part of its Jerusalem will never be Judatized. Now, this is a big thing, people. This is a subject I want to speak about tonight when I'm all set up. This wasn't like a planned setup thing, but anyway, I just wanted to go live with it quick. There is a huge aspect of this where Israel is involved. That's interesting that I want to speak about. You know, I know you're not supposed to talk about that, but you know, you might be surprised. I'm just saying, it's so significant. It could get to a biblical portion. You look at so many different things, so many subjects we've gone over that you know, some of it we have to, you know, always have our eyes out for these signs. And I could just see an escalation where we're already seeing it. Richie from Boston's been doing a great job reporting on it, and that's where I caught it from him. But you know, I kind of thought after the first attack in New Jersey on the Jews and stuff, they were going after them. You know, they were anti-Semitic, and it was like they were black though, so I was like, I thought it was maybe they're black Muslim, and yeah, they've been. It's kind of weird though. Some of them have been claiming some like crazy mental stuff happening, and just it seems like it's being pumped up. You know, I mean, they are the most protected group, and you know it's understandable to a point, but you know, Philly, that could be taken advantage of. That's all I'm saying. You guys know what I mean. You okay? My dog just fell off the bed. My dog just. Are you okay? She's a strong pitch. Come here. Come here. She knows not to go on the camp. She's trained not to go on the camp. She's good. She's good. Yeah. Okay. You fell, huh? All right. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So, Jerusalem will never be Judatized campaign. This is big. After Al-Shabaab's deadly attack on a luxury mall complex in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, in January 2019, to which, by the way, they don't add, President Trump responded with airstrikes. That was the one where we killed, like, you know, a good amount of them. What was it? In an airstrike. 7. And we killed those 7. That was for that. They should put, you know, we looked out for Israel more so than anything else. I mean, obviously it's our main ally, but you know, it's weird when it has this religious thing too, and it makes it. I'm just looking for like a watchman. And you watch for the, you know, there should be certain signs that you watch for, and it's just, I don't know. I always have it in the back of my head. That's just me. Somalia's government, which is fighting Alshabab with the help of a multinational African force, the Federal Republic of Somalia, joins the rest of the world in condemning the cowardly attack that targeted joint Kenyan and U.S. forces at Manda Bay airfield, Kenya, earlier today. It's so funny how it's like every country in the region has to come out and, after like a big attack, and it's just like, boom. Everybody has to put out a press release. And it's funny, it's like, we condemn. Then behind the scenes, it's like, hey, I gotta say what I gotta say. I got that aid coming in. For real. Let's be honest. And that's all. That's it for that. And I just want to show you guys. I think I got the video here. Oh man, I'll get it. I got it. Should have already had it set up. I want to see the actual footage. They have the actual footage. But, damn. Wow, massacres inside universities. It actually has a video of them. This isn't what happened, but they had just done that too. Damn. Oh, it's Al Jazeera. That's not the video I'm looking for. God damn. I found it. Ah, man. You know what? I'll show the video tonight. I'm sorry, guys. I should have been prepared with that. So let's see. Let's see what's up in the chat. And by the way, I always read the chat after the show. So there's so many things that I miss because I have the screen up. I have to figure out how to have the screen up and the comments up. That would be nice. Be nice with a second screen with the comments. I'm thinking about doing that. I gotta figure out. Yeah, I could probably do it on TV actually. Just even for me to see the comments, And Charles Harding, beautiful. And I think this is very important to keep in mind. Brian Wilson, on fire, man. If you want to be a mod, I think that would be a good thing. Let me know. And I think this is important too. But here we go. This is very important. This was. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Beautiful I was thinking Yemen too. I was thinking Yemen's the spot they're gonna hit. But I also, I was open that, it might be something like just out there, it, where they, kind of hit us a little bit, just enough to keep their word, because, um, what they're worried about is us taking out their oil refineries, which is exactly what's going to happen if they, actually themselves attack. I'll tell you right now, that's the next step of the ladder to war. To a major war. I don't even know these days if the word war and future, if they've ever looked different. It's crazy. The type of weapons. So that's just next step. That we're gonna hit their oil refineries. They will attack. It will be something. I'm thinking cyber, but they promise blood to their people. But I guess they had no. This just happens to be. I think that it is Al-Shabaab letting Iran and the Shiites, despite our differences as far as Muslims being Shiite Muslim Sunni, which to some of you guys that might sound simple, but it's not. It's very complicated, and it's what's been causing war in that region for so many years. That and our interests as well. But yeah, so anyways, tonight I'll be all set up. It'll be a legit setup. I just wanted to touch on this. Make sure you guys knew about this. Uh, how you doing, Joe Shields? Um, yeah, so I think it's an opportune time for them to basically signal we will ally with you. And I wonder what's the response on this one. I mean, life for life, right? It seems to be Trump's thing. You know, we're not even, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting because there has to be an attack. Um, our cyber capabilities have improved. Listen, we have been spending money as if we have been at war, which, by the way, in a way, we have. There's been this silent war that is done with electronics and technology and things like that, getting into people's stuff, hacking it, making it screw up. We've been talking about this with we what happened right before. Yeah, this is what I want to talk about tonight. So I'm not gonna, but yeah, tune in tonight, guys, at 9 to 10 Eastern time. I know you guys are busy, so if you can't catch it, just you can watch it at your own leisure. But um, overall, I think that this is honest a legit thing. I'll be honest. I think it's legit. But I have a lot of questions after that article. Why is there so many conflicting, accounts of what is actually going on? Why is it not being played up with the media? Maybe they're gonna start up. Who knows? Um, I don't see it like I normally would see it in these types of situations, especially at such a high. I mean, is this it? Is this the little? Is this FF that significant, or am I undervaluing it? I don't know. I don't think it is. I think it's legit, but you know, you never know. That's what sucks. You don't know if what you're reading. I know that there's a lot of BS, and I do my best to navigate my way through. But you know, that's why that video. I thought it was important to put that quote up, that about freedom of the press. Even if it's limited, it's lost. And with the Smith-Mundt Act and the craziness of opinion news that we've all inundated with, not all, but most. All right, guys. So I'll be on tonight. It's Red Pill Dispensary. Thanks for sticking with me. You know where to get your Pez. 9 to 10 Pacific. I'll put out a 30-minute thing if you really looking forward to it. And we are going to talk everything that's going on with Iran. I'm going to give you a unique perspective. I believe I haven't heard anyone with this perspective, but I think it'll be good. So just tune in. Red Pill Red Pill Dispensary. All right.